Most of my mornings are spent getting yelled at by cows and chickens. I've already given them about 3/4 of a bucket of all stock, but I don't like feeding them a lot of all stock or grains. I'd rather them eat grass and hay. And they definitely like their food, and they are not afraid to tell me about it. All right, girls, here's some hay. Look at that. That grain's already gone. And here comes the hay. Here comes the hay. Whoa, watch out. Oof. There we go. Happy cows. Good morning, Missy. All right, girls, have a good day. They're quite spoiled. That's okay. I love them. Hello, everybody. It is August. It is hot. And the boys are getting ready to go back to school. I have about an hour to do a little bit of an assessment. In August, there's a lot of heat in Florida. There's a lot of bugs. There are some crops that we have that are still finishing off from the last season, but mostly when the rains start coming, the weeds just go absolutely nuts. And I'll show that to you, what's happening in the garden right now. As you can see, we've done really well with accumulating our wood chips and manure. So we have a really good bed for the garden in the fall. But the area that we used, the 2 rows that we set up for the summer and the spring, as you can see here, are just completely overgrown with weeds. We do have some peppers in here, so we are going to harvest those. The tomatoes that are on that first row over there, they're pretty much done. There's not a lot going on there anymore. The heat will stop your tomatoes from fruiting. The blossoms will just drop off and they won't set. And eventually the bugs and everything, that will take care of them. So now we're going to have to pull all those weeds out. And the plan for the weeds this year is actually to throw everything through the wood chipper. And what we're going to do is we're going to get a bunch of really good macerate, or plant material that we're going to put into some drums, and we are going to turn that into a liquid fertilizer, the compost tea. So that's the plan this year. So all of that dead plant material is all going to get through that and turned into compost tea. However, we do have another couple of projects that we need to do. As the machines sit over the summer and don't get used very much, we had some batteries die, so I have some batteries to replace. I've got some oil to change, and then just a lot of general mowing that needs to be done to stay on top of everything. Our little starts for our food forest back here, we have some mangoes, we've got blueberry, we've got pineapple, a couple of other ones I'm not thinking of right now, banana, a little banana plant. All of these things are doing really well. We are going to get those things into the actual soil as we develop our food forest this season. But everything in this area is going to need to get shifted around and cleaned up. One very big project that we have to do is move this old chicken tractor out of this garden area. This is where we put our last batch of meat birds to kind of help process and prepare the soil for the garden. And their job is done, and they're in the freezer now. And we need to move this out. So eventually we are going to have to take this entire fence down, get the tractor in here, pull that out, and bring that back out to the pasture. And we will be starting another batch of meat birds here for the fall, Takes about 2 months to prepare those, so those should be September, October. We should have something ready for November or so for that. Anyhow, let's get started, shall we? So I am going to be first harvesting as many of these peppers as I can, and I'm going to do what I can to save these plants and keep them. There's some of them that have fallen over. I'm going to try and get some stakes to lift them up, and then weed around them, and then I'll refertilize and recompost around these plants. Peppers actually are perennials. They will continue to go, and if you live in a northern climate and you have some peppers that have gone really well over the summer, you can actually, dig them up, put them in a pot, take them inside, and winter them over inside, and then take them out again. And in Florida, they will get killed in a frost. So if you are going to expect a frost in the winter, you can cover them, or you don't really want to take them inside, because you only have a couple of frosts a year in Florida, especially in the central area. And the objective, though, is to just keep feeding them, keep them watered, and they will continue to grow and continue to produce as long as you kept them well fed and get the nutrients that they need, and they're able to ward off the bugs and everything. So anyhow, I'm going to harvest these first, and then I'll weed around them. And I don't have a lot of time today to get as much done, but I will get as much done as I could. So enjoy the time lapse here. So as you can see here, there are a lot of peppers that I didn't harvest. And if you look right down here, you can see that there's tons of them that have fallen and are on the ground. Now, that's not the best thing to do. We were away for a couple of weeks, so we kind of missed out on a lot of this, and that's where all the weeds all came from. But what's important to keep in mind is that whenever you have any kind of a fruit-bearing plant, you need to constantly harvest. Also for bushy plants like basil and cilantro and parsley. But for fruit-bearing plants, you want to make sure that you're constantly harvesting. One of the main reasons why you want to do that is they have a signal that goes off when they are actually dropping fruit and producing seeds. They have a signal that goes off that says, I'm done. So we need to make sure that we're constantly harvesting to make sure that it constantly is trying to put off more seeds and reproduce. So always be harvesting. Okay, so one thing to think about when you are harvesting peppers, really important, don't rub your eyes. That's really bad news. All of that capsicum is gonna get all over your fingers, and if you rub your eyes, you're gonna feel it. Okay, I did not make very much progress there, and I'm running out of time for today. I did want to talk to you about one thing, though. First of all, the weeds here, weeds are a problem. They take nutrients away from the soil. But one thing that is really good about weeds is it keeps the soil cool and moist, because it's been covered by this, lush, forest of grass and various other plants. The sun can't get down to that soil and scorch the soil out, which keeps it actually significantly cooler. It's probably at 90 something degrees right here, but the soil itself is, probably in the mid 70s. because of that the cover that it's had, and it's very moist. You can ball it up into a ball that clumps really well and then breaks apart. So really beautiful soil that we're building here. I am a professional. And while some people will say don't try this at home, I really encourage you to try this at home. Make sure that you go to our school community. It's a great opportunity to learn a lot more information about gardening and get your hands dirty. All right, everybody, I need to get inside, get this thing posted. Otherwise, it'll just sit in a folder and never see the light of day. So have a great day, everybody. I will see you tomorrow. That's a very happy chicken.